Good afternoon, Musketeers. It's September 14th, 2018. I'm Aiden Callahan.
And I'm Ivana Dias. This is Xavier News.
From the Xavier University Television Studio, this is Xavier News. Your campus, your region, your world. This is Xavier News.
On Wednesday this week, Apple announced 3 new iPhones and a new generation of Apple Watch. Available September 21st, these new iPhones sport more advanced chips, better cameras, and an improved battery life. And a price tag equivalent to a Nintendo Switch, a PS4, and an Xbox One combined. The iPhone XR starts at $800, the XS brings that up to $1,000, and the XS Max brings that up to $1,100. You'd think asking for that much money, Apple would include everything included with previous iPhones, but starting with this generation, Apple will no longer include the infamous dongle needed to connect normal headphones to the now headphone jackless iPhone. The new generation of Apple Watch, creatively dubbed the Apple Watch 4, sports a bigger screen, a better processing chip which should make it run faster, and of course, a much higher price tag. Watches can cost up to $500 compared to the previous generation, which had cost up to $350. This, however, is a small price to pay for a watch that could save your life with the new fall detection feature, which can sense if you fall and alert authorities.
A 14-year-old has been accused of killing his 2 younger siblings. Christina McCartney said that her son was, quote, every mom's dream child. He would sing to them, read them books. I didn't have to ask him to help with the kids, he would just do it, end quote. However, things changed on May 1st of last year when McCartney arrived home and found her lifeless 2-year-old daughter Desiree. A few months later, her 11-month-old son Nathaniel died after being suffocated. The teenage boy is currently being held at the Dearborn Juvenile Detention Center and is now being evaluated to see if he's competent to stand trial and if he can be tried as an adult.
New information has surfaced this week on the Fifth Third building shooter. While Omar Santaperez's motives still remain a mystery, it has become clear that the 29-year-old had an extensive history of displaying mentally unstable behavior. His mother and sister, on at least 2 occasions, went before the court in their hometown of Palm Beach County, Florida, to argue that Santa was violent and mentally ill. In both cases, the judges ordered Santa to be evaluated by mental health professionals, and he was eventually placed into treatment. Citizens placed involuntarily into treatment are usually barred from purchasing firearms, but Santa was still able to purchase the 9mm semi-automatic handgun he used in the shooting at one of the shoot point-blank indoor shooting ranges in the Cincinnati area, along with over 200 rounds of hollow point bullets. A spokeswoman for the Federal Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms blamed this on different states having a different interpretation of federal law and what is considered involuntary mental treatment. Wherever you put the blame for this tragedy, I think I speak for all Cincinnatians when I extend monumental gratitude to the first responders who got this incident dealt with within 5 minutes of it starting.
The National Weather Service warned that Florence will likely be, quote, the storm of a lifetime with the potential for unbelievable damage, end quote. Hurricane Florence is a Category 2 storm with a maximum sustained wind of 105 miles per hour. Millions of people have been evacuated in North and South Carolina ahead of the storm, as it is expected to bring catastrophic flooding, 13-foot storm surges, and over 40 inches of rain in parts of the Carolinas. Looking for something to do tonight? Xavier Recreational Sports is holding its inaugural Rec Fest tonight at the O'Connor Sports Center from 4 till 8. Activities range from rock climbing to bubble soccer to the vaguely named pool activities. Sounds like a good time to me, and it's completely free. All you need to bring is your all card and you'll gain access to tons of giveaways and even free fitness classes, including yoga from 5:30 to 6:30 and a full body sculpt right after that. Additionally, the first 400 people get a free water bottle. BRAVE is a peer education group for Xavier students. It teaches about sexual assault and how we can actively be a part of ending rape culture and creating a new norm of consent. It is a confidential resource to report sexual assault and receive counseling. BRAVE also hosts 2 workshops on healthy relationships or bystander interventions and consent. Check out BRAVE's OrgSync page to request to host a workshop.
All right, that's all from the news desk, people.
We'll be right back with Lucas Robbins and the Xavier Sports Report.
Good afternoon, Musketeers. Welcome back to Xavier Sports. I'm Lucas Robbins, and we begin today with the big story in Cincinnati sports, as last night the Cincinnati Bengals hosted the Baltimore Ravens for Thursday Night Football. Last night, the Cincinnati Bengals held on to their undefeated record with a 34-28 win in Paul Brown Stadium. Leading the charge for the Bengals was quarterback Andy Dalton and wide receiver A.J. Green, who connected on 3 touchdowns in the first 17 minutes of the game. After the A.J. and Andy led 21-0 lead, however, the Ravens fought on, and for the second straight game, the Bengals won because of the other team fumbling on their potential game-winning drive. With their good fortune, the team is in the lead in the AFC North and will attempt to silence their critics next Sunday versus the Carolina Panthers at 1 p.m. In other news, Xavier cross-country team is heading over to Notre Dame today for the National Catholic Invitational. The team is hoping for a repeat of their last performance from 3 of their track stars, who led the team during the Queen City Invitational 2 weeks ago. Anna Costarellis and Jenna Clayworth finished 3rd and 6th respectively on the women's 5K race, while Grayson Jenkins led the men with a 10th place finish in the 5K race. The Queen City Invitational also marked the first time in Xavier history that they beat Ohio State, while being the first win versus UC since 2016. Best of luck, Musketeers. And finally, the Xavier women's soccer team has been on an absolute roll lately. This season, they boast an undefeated home record, and their junior goalie, Tony Bizzarro, was just named the Big East Goalkeeper of the Week. It's no wonder the team has done so well, as it has had 4 straight shutouts on defense, most recently last night at Dayton. Last night's game was a close battle throughout, as it was 0-0 draw at half. But then, 4 minutes into the second half, sophomore Sydney Shremby crossed over to redshirt junior Samantha Dewey, who scored on the game winner. This was the only goal scored on purpose last night, as in the closing seconds of the game, a Dayton defender accidentally knocked the ball into their own goal for an insane walk-off own goal. Dayton's ineptitude aside, this was a clutch performance by Dewey and the Musketeers, as it was her second win of the season, and it was her second game winner of the season and her second game winner in her career versus Dayton. Coming off of this insane win, the Musketeers will return home this Sunday at 7 p.m. to face off against Miami. Best of luck, Muskies, and as always, let's go X.